I'm Claire. As you know, at the start of 2017, I've decided that I wanted to watch 100 movies in a year, which is a thing that I've been doing since 2015, and I failed. But this year I did not! I watched 100 movies, please, round of applause, and I created this series to update you every 3 months about my progress and which movies I watched, which ones I liked and which ones I didn't like, and we're here at the last installment and I have 48 movies to go through. Yes, I really decided that I wanted to do it and I watched a lot of them in a really short period of time, so let's get through it because there's a lot of them. So the first movie that I watched in October was The Valier Family, which is a lovely French movie. It surrounds a deaf family and only the daughter can hear, and she wants to be a singer, and obviously the family does not understand what that's like and why she wants to go through that career path, but they try to support her and it's a really sweet movie. And I'm kind of obsessed with sign languages, so it was really cool to see a whole movie about that, basically. The first one is a documentary about the dancers that followed Madonna around in some of her most iconic tours and about their lives and struggles and some legal battles, and it's really an interesting watch. I'm not a huge Madonna fan, so I didn't know about them, and yeah, it's cool. Then at the cinema I watched 120 Beats Per Minute, which people hyped up so much for me that I ended up not really enjoying it because I went in thinking that it was going to be like magnificent, and I didn't think that it was. It was nice, it was important, another movie about AIDS and activism, and yeah, but like, give me something lighter. Just, I'm tired of seeing gay people die. But speaking of important LGBT stuff, I watched The Death and Life of Marsha P Johnson, which is a documentary on Netflix about the first black trans woman that made really a difference at Stonewall, and it's awesome and it's a really important documentary, and I'm glad that I watched it now. Then I finally got around to watch Maze Runner, which I don't know why it took me so long because it's a genre of movies that I like and I really enjoyed it, and I want to watch the following ones. There's a couple, I think. Then, oh, this movie, The Fundamentals of Caring. I just found it on Netflix one day and was like, okay, I like the main actor. I've seen it in Submarine and a couple more things. So I was like, okay, let's see what it's about. And it's one of my favorite movies of the year. It's really awesome. It's the story of a man who ends up being the carer for a teenager boy with disabilities, and it's funny. You don't think that a movie about a guy with disabilities it's gonna be fun, but it is, because he knows what he can do with his body, but he's also a very smart kid, so he knows how to trick people and like make them, I don't know, worried about him, but he's totally fine. I didn't think that it was going to be that good, but it's awesome. I know, you're judging me. I've seen this movie, bits of it, when I was younger, but I could not remember most of it, so I watched it with my friends in Italian, so I have to watch it in English as well because like the songs change, but good. Then I finally watched Your Name because my friends were bullying me and I had to watch it at some point, and it's a love story, but it's a weird love story. It has a twist, I cannot really explain it to you. And usually I'm not big on anime or like drawn Japanese style things, but this is a really good movie because like the story is good. I don't care, it could have been like drawn like with stick figures. Speaking of me not really enjoying Japanese films, I watched Princess Mononoke and I'm sorry I didn't like it. It was so long. Like the story was interesting, but it was so damn long. If it were like an hour and a half, okay, but it's 2 hours and a bit. It's too much, too much. Guardian of the Galaxy is another movie that I didn't watch at the time. I don't know why, but to be honest, I didn't love it that much, again because it was hyped for me, but like I had to watch it because they're going to be in Infinity War, so I gotta know all the characters. It was fun, but I think that there was a little bit too much of everything. Like they tried to do a lot of stuff in 2 hours, so I don't know. Then I watched Love Song, which is somewhat a lesbian movie. It wants to be, but it really has a lot of tropes and I did not enjoy it. I don't know why. Like, can we have a good lesbian movie without like loads of porn-inspired sex scenes? Like just a normal lesbian movie about women falling in love. No? Can we? Okay, fine. Then I stumbled upon Mindorn, which I didn't think that I would enjoy, but I did. It's basically about an actor that doesn't have a career anymore. He only had one good character. He played a detective on like a 70s show, and somehow he ends up having to collaborate with the police because someone like committed a crime and decided that the only person that they would talk to was going to be Mindorn, this guy, this fictional character. It's weird, like stupid funny, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Then I finally watched Waitress just because I got into the musical and I wanted to see what inspired it. And I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but I think that you should watch it because it makes you see what an abusive household is like and how women are treated by abusive husbands, and it's a really important watch, in my opinion. To be fair, I watched Matilda when I was young, but I did not remember most of it, so I decided, okay, let's watch it again. I'm sure that if I had watched this movie all the way through when I was young, I would have had the biggest crush on Miss Honey, because she's so lovely, Jesus Christ. I finally watched the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait and finally read the book, which I've started a lot of times now, but never finished it. But I said, okay, let's watch it. If I like it, it's gonna give me the drive to finally read the book. It hasn't yet, but I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. With 8 Women, I realized like halfway through that I've kind of watched this movie. I think that I've started it. I completely forgot that they had musical numbers in it. It completely wiped out of my memory. So I'm counting it as a new movie that I watched because I did not remember half of it. So I decided that it was time to watch something that wasn't the musical version or Les Miserables because I'm not gonna read the book. It's too long and I can't. And obviously I expected it to be the whole story, but it just focuses on Jean Valjean and Cosette and Then I watched Walt Before Mikey, which is basically the story of Walt Disney before becoming famous. And I don't know how biographical that is, but he went through a lot of shit. So if that's true, he went through a lot before becoming who he ended up being. And it was an interesting watch. Okay, where the hell was I when this movie came out? Why do I not remember it? I finally watched The Good Dinosaur, and it's a good boy. It's a good boy. It's the story of basically a dinosaur that doesn't fit in his family, is a little bit like a loser, and like his quest to becoming a better person, dinosaur, and it has a pet human. It has a pet human. Then it was finally time to watch Thor Ragnarok, which I was waiting for so much. When I read that this one was going to be more comedy-based, more funny, more, I don't know, more fun in general. Marvel movies are becoming a bit stressful. So when I read that and when I watched the whole hilarious press campaign that they did, I was hooked. I was like, okay, can't fucking wait to watch this, and I loved it. It was so much fun. I don't care that people say that it's too much fun. Why are you scared of having too much fun, my friend? Please enjoy this movie. This is good. Then another movie that came out when I apparently was not paying attention because I don't remember this, but Megamind turned out to be fun. I did not enjoy like the drawing style that much, but it's a good movie. And speaking of kids movies, I finally watched Paddington. Why didn't I watch it before? It's so wholesome. It's, oh, my heart. It has a lot of British humor, which I love. And oh, if you haven't watched Paddington, please go. It's so nice. And I watched it around Christmas, which made it better. Then I watched Oz the Great and Powerful, and you might think that it's about the Wizard of Oz, and it is, but the main protagonist is just a magician that ends up in Oz somehow and says, fuck it, let me try being the wizard, although I do not have any magic, but it kinda does. And it's a nice movie, and I loved Glinda in it. Then I watched Clerks, which is about clerks and their lives in the shops they work in, and all the problems and the customers and their problems like love and life. It's a weird movie, like so much stuff happens in one day that is like set in, but cool? Question mark? Then I went to the cinema with my family to see the 3rd movie of this Italian saga, and I enjoyed this one way more than the 2nd one. And I don't know how they keep making this movie so much fun. Like, the characters are not getting old for the audience, and it's such a good time. Then I gave Cherry Pop a try just because there are some drag queens that I like in it, and the story just felt so flat. Like, Bob the Drag Queen is the only one that like saves the whole show. in my opinion. Sorry. Then I watched this Italian movie that I only liked because there are a couple of gay characters, and to be honest, we don't get enough of them in Italian cinema. One of the characters comes out and I cried my eyes out. Again, every coming out for me is like this. But it's a nice watch, I guess. Then I watched The Guardian of the Galaxy Volume 2, and to be honest, I like this one way better than the first one, just because in this one we already knew all the characters and I didn't have to take the time to introduce everyone that I obviously had to do in the first one, which made it a bit too much. But I like this one so much, and the planet thing, not gonna spoil anything if you haven't watched it, but the planet thing, God, yes. Then I finally watched Closer, which I heard a lot about, and there's so much stuff going on. Like, there's two couples, but they, like, intertwine. And to be honest, I did not enjoy the acting very much. I don't know why, because there are important people in it. There's Natalie Portman, Jude Law, Julia Roberts, and the only one that I really liked was the one that I didn't know who he was. Clive Owen. Well done, mate. Well done. Then I watched a gay documentary called Dreamboat, which is set on a cruise for gay people, and they interview different people from different backgrounds, and it's really interesting to see how they experience like homophobia or how they view their homosexuality, and it was really interesting, maybe with less dicks. Thanks. Then I watched the worst movie, in my opinion, of the year. It was just so dumb. And none of the lines really worked, like they were not funny. For me, I don't think that anyone will find them funny. Maybe a small child that doesn't understand the sexual innuendos that there are in this movie. Jesus Christ, no, don't watch it. Then I've watched the sequel of that movie that I told you about earlier with the gay characters, which they kept being gay and gayer, so that was nice. Oh, Julie and Julia was so nice. It's basically a parallel story between Julia Child back in the day. She's the one that brought French cuisine to America, and on the other side we have modern day another Julia that wants to try all the recipes, and she says, okay, I'm gonna bake all the recipes from this book, which is a lot, in a year, and she has a blog that she updates with her progress, and it's nice. And it's really fun because there are two different stories basically going on, and they're both trying to learn how to cook, and one it's unconsciously helping the other, and it's really fun watch. Then yet another Italian movie, which to be honest it's a bit problematic and I felt uncomfortable watching it at times, but so I don't know if I recommend it to you. Then I watched The 100-Foot Journey, which left me feeling so happy. It's basically about this Indian family that has to move to Europe, and they settle in France, and they end up opening an Indian restaurant in front of a fancy French one that is like a staple in that place, and obviously shit goes down, but there's also love. It's so heartwarming. Then I watched Pretty in Pink and I'm in love with Ducky. Like, please, watch this movie. Even just for him. I watched The Addams Family, finally. I wanted to watch it for a long time because I grew up watching the TV series, but I now watched this movie and it was good fun, spooky fun. Guess who finally watched The Danish Girl? Me! Guess who did not really enjoy it? Also me! I just wish that they had gone with a trans person to play Lily, which would have been the fair thing to do. I just think that it's a really important story that could have been told way better, and I don't think that they had trans people giving their feedback and saying, oh, you should do this and that to really make the audience understand what we're going through with dysphoria and everything, because I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I remember that when this movie came out, a lot of people were upset by this, so. Then I watched Hachiko that I voluntarily did not watch for the longest time because I knew that I was gonna cry like a baby because the dog waits for its owner, and I did cry. Mamma mia, here we go again. Mama, how can I resist you? And I should stop because Papa is probably gonna sue me, so shh. It's no secret that I like musicals, so at some point I would have eventually watched Mamma Mia, and I liked it, to be honest. Thank you, Jesus, for Colin Firth. Like, he saves anything, isn't it? Then I watched another dumb Italian movie, and this one is weird. Basically, the guy is not super rich, and he decides that he wants his very rich wife to finally stop treating him badly, and so he wants to kill her. But will he do it? I don't know. Again, with the musicals, I went to the cinema and I watched The Greatest Showman and Hugh Jackman, love of my life, Zac Efron, Zendaya, everyone, they were so great, and the costumes and the story, and I wanna cover all the songs. I loved it. Last Italian movie of the year, Beata Ignoranza. It's about two teachers, one obsessed with technology and the other one completely not being able to use it, and they are challenged to switch lives, and one has to use technology and the other one can't, and it's really cool, and I love Marco Giallini, so Then Amazon Prime told me, Claire, do you want to watch this movie? And I said, fine. And I watched it, definitely maybe. It's about this guy that is trying to explain to his 11-year-old daughter why he's getting divorced with her mom, and he has to explain his whole life story and all his past lovers and what happened, and it's really interesting. And the daughter is so smart and she understands everything, and her like witty remarks are awesome. To be fair, I think that I've started Limitless like 3 times before finally watch the whole thing, and I did, and it's cool. And it's about this guy that with the drug is able to use his whole brain, like 100% of it, and he can do anything, but obviously stuff runs out, so what happens next? To the Bone is a Netflix movie that talks about anorexia, and I have no clue how that it's supposed to be like, so I don't know if it's a good portrayal of anorexia. I hope it is, because it's the last thing that people need to be like shown in the worst light possible. So I don't know, let me know, I have no clue. I watched The Climb, which is a French movie about this guy that decides to go climb the Everest to win a girl over. Again, the length straight people go to. And the last movie of 2017, Carol, which I watched last night, and I did not enjoy it that much. I'm sorry. What the heck do I want from this lesbian movie? I don't know. But to be fair, I'm glad that it was not like sex. It was a bit more what's going on in this young woman mind about falling in love with a woman. So that's good. But it had so much more stuff going on that made it so hard. I want a good lesbian movie, please give it to me. And so I did it! I watched 100 movies in 2017, finally, after 2 years of failing, and I'm so happy. I'm not gonna do it again next year. I wanna watch a TV series and read books. And I hope you enjoyed this series. Down below you're going to find a list with all the movies. Please tell me which ones you watched, and let's talk about them if you want. I'm happy that I finally achieved this. I've been trying for so long, and it's really nice to be able to like talk about movies with anyone because you finally watched them. So do it if you want, I challenge you. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can give it a like down below, or maybe subscribe to this channel or to my Italian channel, or watch one of these 2 videos. You can do a lot of stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye! In 2018, wow!